Well, like we talked earlier, we went from 12 billion to zero. And then, as a farmer, we get up one morning and you give Argentina, which is our second biggest competition in the world. They're the largest exporters of soybean meal in the world. So I get up one morning, I turn the news on, and you give $20 billion of taxpayer money to my competition.
I have to ask, where do you stand on the White House's idea of helping farmers with tariff money that is being collected?
That's the most ridiculous thing. Let me explain to you.
Okay.
How are your other farmers, for your friends, feeling? I know a lot of them are Trump supporters. Do they still feel good?
Everybody's pretty nervous. Everybody's pretty scared. There's some of the older guys that, farm out of their pocket. They're like, I'm not doing this again.
Welcome back to the channel, my people. I do hope that from wherever you are watching this from, you are doing all right. Hopefully God has protected you and preserved you very well. Thank you to all of you that keep supporting me on here. Big shout out to my members. You guys do me amazing. Yes, and we definitely have another good episode to look at. Those that were telling black people to pull themselves by their bootstraps. Looks like they are having their hands out to receive a handout, right? In the name of a bailout. And the crazy thing is a lot of them are now actually spotting that this man bankrupted them intentionally. And he slapped them and then came to them and it's like, oh, it's okay, come on, it's gonna be all right. They're realizing that the people that were supposed to be buying their, produces are not buying. Meanwhile, the US is actually, giving money to Argentina, which Argentina is now, selling soybean to China. And a lot of them are like, this is unfair. But Trump promised them a bailout or a handout. And you're going to see how a lot of them are reacting towards this whole bailout or handout thing, because a lot of them are actually not even happy at all, because they're like, it doesn't matter anymore, yeah? But we need to watch this. We'll come back and talk about it. Let me know if you are a farmer. Have you been affected by this? And who did you vote for? Not to say that I told you so. Yeah, let me know what you think about this whole entire farmers saga. I'll be back with more.
Well, like we talked earlier, we went from 12 billion to zero. And then, as a farmer, we get up one morning and you give Argentina, which is our second biggest competition in the world. They're the largest exporters of soybean meal in the world. So I get up one morning, I turn the news on, and you give $20 billion of taxpayer money to my competition. And then the Chinese buy, I think the figure is 30 or 40 containers, ships, which is about 65,000 metric tons per ship, which is like 2.2 million bushels. So they buy 12 or 14 billion dollars worth of soybeans from the Argentinians after the tax holiday. And here's the caveat to it. They give $2.30 over the November board, while I'm getting 50 cents under the November board.
And now we're having trouble selling. So we need those markets.
I have to ask, where do you stand on the White House's idea of helping farmers with tariff money that is being collected?
That's the most ridiculous thing. Let me explain to you.
Okay.
Or your listeners, excuse me. Those tariffs I'm paying on inputs just this spring, and all of our parts, many of our parts come from other countries. All right. Just this spring, I go to my local John Deere dealer. I need a chain for my corn planter. I take it out of the box, John Deere box, dealt with these people for 40 years, John Deere part number, turn it over, it says made from China. Okay. I'm thinking, wow, that's odd. I just paid a tariff on that doggone thing. So here's the deal. I'm paying that tariff because my importer, John Deere, paid it. They paid it directly to the Treasury. Now the President of the United States is going to take my money and give it back to me and call it a bailout. That's just comical. And I tell you what, this administration has got agriculture, has got farmers exactly where they want them. And that is in need of what only Trump can deliver, and that's a bailout. What a terrible place for for agriculture to be. Farmers are independent. They are independent businessmen and women, and they want to live off the land. They're creating income off the land for their communities, and President Trump has them right where he wants them.
He put out a message on Truth Social last hour saying that he's going to be meeting with President Xi of China and that he will discuss soybeans. Do you put much stock in that? Does that make you feel better?
Well, I mean, what good's it going to do to discuss soybeans at almost November? Because Senator Tester can correct me if I'm wrong here, but in November, the Brazilians will start cutting. They'll be in full swing by December. They don't need us. I mean, you're going to wait to have a discussion over selling soybeans when Brazil's in full bore? What bargaining power are we going to have then?
That's a good point.
So if there were a bailout, right, which the president is apparently considering, what would that mean?
Well, the stopgap needs to come because they've kind of painted the farmer in a corner. I mean, I want trade, not aid. I need a market. I need a place to sell this stuff. I can work hard enough and make a product. If you give me some place to sell it, I'll take care of myself. But they've painted us in a corner with this China deal and China buying no soybeans. I mean, they've tore our market in half. I mean, if you take the 4 years prior to Trump's first tariff war, the average price of a bushel of soybeans is $12.54. The average price for the 4 years during Trump's first tariff war is $9.39. That's a $163 an acre swing to the minus. The next 4 years after the tariff war, the average price is $13.59. That's a $218 upswing. Now we're back to $10.21. I think the board is today. My local elevator's $9.79. So I'm at $172 an acre loss. I mean, the farmer can't continue to produce a crop below the cost of production, and that's where we're at, and we don't have anywhere to sell it. We're in a tariff war with China. We're in a tariff war with everybody else. I mean, where do they want me to market this stuff?
On today's episode of FAFO, brought to you again by America's Soybean Farmers.
How are your other farmers, for your friends, feeling? I know a lot of them are Trump supporters. Do they still feel good?
Everybody's pretty nervous. Everybody's pretty scared. There's some of the older guys that, farm out of their pocket. They're like, I'm not doing this again. I'm not giving back 30 years worth of work. Everybody's scared to death. I got friends that are bankers that, will tell you the bank examiner is already telling them, look, you're going to have to deal with these guys.
And just as a friendly reminder, during the 2024 election, the state of Arkansas went 64.2% towards President Orange Man. And there's been many news reports lately that have come out with interviews from these farmers, in which most of them are saying that they actually need some sort of trade deal to go through so they can continue selling crops. Because they went from $12 billion in sales with other countries down to pretty much zero. And a lot of them are saying that they would rather have a deal go through than to take a government handout, but they're asking for a handout anyways because they're probably not going to make it through. And it looks like right now a lot of these farmers are not happy with the deal that the US has with the country of Argentina in regards to the $20 framework deal. And I'm not exactly sure as to why they're really upset, because this happened in their first term, so they knew it could happen again, and then they voted for it, and now they're expecting another bailout. This is just another episode in the FAFO saga.
American soybean farmers, let's have a chat. One farm family to another. Are you aware that Trump is planning to send $20 billion to Argentina to bail them out? All because his buddy is running for re-election. He wants to make sure he gets re-elected. He's bailing them out. Plus, Argentina just made a humongous deal with China and took your biggest soybean market. So now China, they don't need any American soybeans. They get everything they need from Argentina. Plus, Argentina is getting your tax dollars to bail them out. Trump doesn't plan to give you any bailout. He said maybe when the tariffs start paying off that he'd give you a little something, but I wouldn't hold your breath on that one because we've all figured out by now, right, that that's a tax on the consumer. And that's what's your farm. Yeah. I didn't vote for this, and I never have, and I never would. I can't stand Donald Trump. Real curious how some of you can still support this. Can't see that he's just continuing to stab you in the back. I have a feeling a lot of you voted for this because you didn't want to see undocumented immigrants come to this country and take American jobs, but they didn't have to come in this country to take your job. Donald Trump just handed it to them on a silver platter. And your tax money too. He does not care about you. What's it going to take for you to realize that?
Look, he ran on America first, right? I need someone to explain this to me. What did we go through the whole Doge and wasteful spending and waste, fraud, and abuse cutting if we're just going to go ahead and give 20 billion US dollars to Argentina? So this is from Heather Cox Richardson's Facebook page. The administration officials are making sure the shutdown that has put Americans out of work doesn't affect their own priorities. They have prioritized a $20 billion bailout of Argentina's failed economy as essential. So it will proceed. The bailout will help right-wing leader Javier Milei, a Trump ally. What the fuck happened to America first? But it gets worse. Because soybean farmers in America, right? You guys, you voted overwhelmingly for this man. And then he slaps tariffs, and China has pulled out from buying soybeans from your farms, and now your farms are at risk of closing. But to add insult to injury, Argentina's soy exports to China have soared. So he's giving a $20 billion bailout to the country that stole your business. You guys, look, we may be the evil liberal left, but we warned you that the tariffs would have overwhelmingly drastic and devastating consequences to everyone, including farmers. If you think I'm full of shit, I have extended family members who have farms that were hurt the first time during the tariffs, during his first administration. And yet you guys still ran back to him. And now he is giving a $20 billion bailout. America first. That's what they kept saying. Make America great again. Apparently, it wasn't make America great again. It was make Argentina great again. And nothing against the Argentinian people. I have friends who are Argentinian. It is not their fault. But they also voted this idiot of a man in who gave Elon Musk a golden chainsaw to ruin our government. And then this man is going to turn around with his complicit Congress and give $20 billion of American taxpayer money to this country. Meanwhile, children in America are starving in red states and blue states because 38 million Americans are at or below the poverty line. Are you guys going to admit you were wrong? I'm waiting. And look, I am not a Democrat. You can't paint me with that. I live in New Zealand. I'm an American living in New Zealand. I moved here because we have at least somewhat of a more egalitarian government and society where we have paid maternity leave, guaranteed health care for everyone, 20 free daycare hours for kids 3 to 5 years old, 4 weeks guaranteed paid vacation. America apparently is broke, but they're giving $20 billion to Argentina, your tax dollars going to another country. And I'm not saying that the Democrats aren't partially to blame for when they give other countries money, but you cut USAID and then you give $20 billion.
What was that? American farmers are being decimated? Oh, cry me a little baby river. I voted for you to keep your motherfucking farm. I screamed on the internet to every farmer in America that would listen, please don't vote for him because you're going to lose your farm. Guess what? I love being fucking right. And I hate that you're losing your farm, but I voted for you to keep your farm. And you voted for you to give your farm to the federal fucking government, aka JD Vance's real estate company who's just coming in and scooping up all those bankrupted farms. So no, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Because right now, if there was an election tomorrow, these motherfuckers would be signing their foreclosure paperwork at the same time, voting for him again. So I don't give a fuck. What is about to happen to American grocery stores in the next 3 to 6 months? We are all gonna fucking suffer. We are all going to pay the price for your stupid fucking vote. So no, I'm not happy that the grocery stores are gonna be pretty bare and the prices are gonna be pretty fucking high. But if the price was to pay for you to fucking wake up and realize that this goddamn regime is the reason that you've lost everything, your home, your equipment, your farm, your job, your livelihood, your life, you gave that to Donald Trump and JD Vance.
North Dakota is begging. Farmers in North Dakota are begging for help with soybeans. If you did not know, North Dakota sells 70% of soybeans to China, but wait, it gets worse. We are giving Argentina $20 billion. And then guess what? They effed us. They turned around and they canceled their export tax to China and they sold their soybeans. Also, China has bought soybeans from Brazil, Argentina. and they have multiple year deals. We have sold $0 of soybeans to China from North Dakota or any other state. Yes, North Dakota voted for Trump not once, not twice, but 3 times. They are begging for help. We are giving another country $20 billion, and we stole lunches from kids. We stole cancer research from kids. We are stealing health care from American citizens who actually pay taxes. And we are giving almost $5 trillion of tax cuts to billionaires over the next 10 years. So when you think, oh, I don't want to pay for your health insurance, that's not what you're doing. What you're doing is giving money to other things and other countries instead of the people living here. I pay taxes as well, and I get a right to choose where and how my taxes are used. It should be America first, people first, children first. Do you agree? Drop your comments below.
A couple months back, I posted a video asking, what if bankrupting small family farms wasn't an accident? What if the point of having horrible, horrible trade policies was to force them to sell out to corporate farms? Well, I just stumbled across a video where rural Wisconsin farmers were being interviewed.
What would you say is the biggest issue facing your community?
Right now, it's basically all of our small town farmers getting pushed out for bigger corporations.
I'm not saying I was right, but when you vote for a political system that rewards the rich at the expense of the working class, this is what happens.
This just in. So wait, so the farmers are asking for a government bailout? Are they the same farmers who were like, we need to stop giving out these government handouts to these freeloaders? They need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, just like what we would do. So it's the bootstrap McGee's in this country asking for a handout? It's only a handout if you're black or brown. For us, it's a bailout. But you're still asking the government for money to help you out in a time of need, right? Right. Now, me personally, I don't have a problem with helping out the farmers. If they're in need, let's help them out. I just want them to know exactly why you're in the situation that you're in the first place. For them, they're like, why, it's the liberal left. Of course. How? Trump has all 3 branches of the government and the Supreme Court. When Sleepy Joe was in office, the Republicans took control of the House, and they were the party of no, remember? They were like, nope, no. Even our no's have no's. It's ridiculous. Like, Trump has enough minions in Congress where he can get things passed with the greatest of ease. Like the very tariffs that are making farming business difficult. But somehow, they're still like, nope, I don't care what you say. It's the liberal left. Like, this is almost like they're on repeat. Like, where are you getting your information from? Oh, my gosh. Like, they're like, 2 + 2 is 703. How? Can you show me how you're getting your math? How you're coming up with this solution? It is what it is. I don't need to show you. It is because I said it is. Yo, can you imagine how far ahead this country would be if education was a priority versus war? Solidarity over division? First of all, crime would go way down. You'd have way more smarter people. We probably have the amount of inventors who would come together of all ethnic backgrounds to create maybe like flying cars or jetpacks. I mean, where's my jetpack? Anyways, it's not about me. But it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't understand where they're like, oh, we got to cut funding to these black schools. Why? It's just handicapping yourself. Like, we're supposed to be a team. We're Americans. They're like, we can't have them be smarter than us. What happened to iron sharpens iron? Not in this country.
Can we agree, whether you're left-wing, right-wing, MAGA, whatever, can we agree that if you need to provide a bailout for an industry due to your own policies, that's kind of an admission that that policy has failed? Trump is now considering a multi-billion-dollar bailout for American farmers due to his own policies, due to tariffs and Liberation Day. Trump's apocalyptic regime of tariffs that he promised was going to save America, clear the national debt, and give everyone tummy rubs only succeeded in starting a trade war with some of America's biggest trading partners, namely China. Fairly simple. Due to Trump's tariffs making buying from America either too expensive or not trustworthy, China has stopped buying American soybeans, which a lot of American farmers were totally depending on, and now many of them are facing bankruptcy. This is why Trump is now getting ready to shell out billions of dollars of US taxpayer money to prop up the farmers who are suffering thanks to his trade war. Reason they call it a bailout is because it's what you do when a ship is sinking. And that should tell you everything you need to know about Donald Trump's America. Exactly what I said would happen. If the US was to adopt a hostile trading relationship with the rest of the world would slowly but surely find ways around the US. Trump deliberately tried to crash the global economy a few months ago with all of those tariffs. China has just found that it's way easier, way more economically sustainable and way safer to buy soybeans from Brazil. American farmers lose out, along with various other industries that we're probably going to find out about soon enough. If you have to bail out your own industry as a direct result of your policies, you can call that policy a failure. Follow for more.
Farmers across the country have started going on TV and complaining, 1, about Donald Trump's tariffs, 2, about the trade war with China, and 3, that they're not able to sell their products. Specifically soybean farmers who are looking at losing $300 per acre of crops this year. So on a 1,000-acre soybean field, they're looking at losing $300,000. That's because China has not put in an order for soybeans in this quarter alone. They haven't put in an order of soybeans from American farmers since April, which means there's nothing being sold from the United States to China when it comes to soybeans. Where's China going? To Argentina, to Brazil. What's the United States doing? They're bailing out Argentina to the tune of $20 billion while ignoring farmers in the United States. And these farmers are now saying, we don't want a bailout. We need a trade deal. Because since Donald Trump's first term, our profits are down 50% because he keeps screwing with our trade to foreign countries. We need Donald Trump to actually uphold his promises and quit screwing around. We need him to stop telling us that he's going to give us back our money, the money we spent on tariffs. We need him to keep his word, to make a trade deal, and to quit screwing up our free markets.
You know, I don't think it's really hit home the amount of damage that Donald Trump has done to our farmers. This is old Texas Paul. Hope your coffee is as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. I hope you're having a good day and hope you're having a good cup of coffee. Yeah, I don't think people have, including our farmers, have really had it sink in yet what's happened. Other nations, like Argentina and Brazil, have all expanded their soybean production. There's no fixing this. Those markets aren't coming back. China's not coming back to us to buy the way they once did. This is permanently broken. And I honestly... I actually don't know that it's going to make a difference with farmers. Because I've never met anybody that was MAGA. I never met somebody that painted Trump on the side of their barn that didn't put that cult first, even over their farms. I really don't believe that they're going to come back to reality and do what needs to be done, which is to put Democrats back in power, to even remotely have a chance of recovering any of those markets.
Hey there, MAGA. How you doing? Did y'all see this here? Thought it was America first, wasn't it? I thought we weren't supposed to be giving billions of dollars to other countries, except for, Israel, so they can keep blowing up brown children with our bombs. But aside from that, I thought we were supposed to be keeping all of our money for Americans. I mean, we're certainly keeping all of our soybeans for Americans, since they're now worthless because bankruptcy Benito decided to fuck up our biggest trade partner for them. Now they're buying them from Brazil and Argentina instead of American farmers. Those same American farmers that are now going bankrupt because all of you dumb motherfuckers have the economic literacy of a 10-year-old with a credit card and Toys R Us. Even though you pudding brain troglodytes saw how stupid tariffs were the last time you elected the dumbest thing to ever slip through a condom to the Oval Office. And now your little mango molester is giving this knob goblin $20 billion of our dollars to bail out Argentina's economy. The same Argentinian alt-right libertarian loser who just lifted tariffs on China so they could sell them 20 shiploads of their soybeans. So China can get the cheap soybeans that they used to buy from us. So what say you little loving cousin fuckers, huh? Where's that America First energy now? Just seems kind of strange that after all that America First patriotic preaching bullshit, saying that we just couldn't afford to support American farmers with USAID because we were giving stuff away for free to starving children, we're now chomping at the bit to bail out Argentinian farmers. And for all you MAGA voting farmers, maybe you should go check out some farmland down there, because clearly the dipshit you has decided to vote for will take much better care of you if you're in Argentina. And don't worry about your property here. JD Vance is already with a nice low offer to pay pennies on the dollar for your bankrupt family farm. But hey, since conservatives have also crashed the economy so bad in Argentina too that they need an American bailout, I'm sure you can find some cheap land and it'll all work out.
I'm going to show you a perfect example of media malpractice. It's this CNN clip where this soybean farmer is talking about how bad things are right now. Watch.
In a difficult farm economy, and then the trade war started, and that's taking things from bad to worse. And now our biggest export customer, China, has not purchased any soybeans from this year's crop. That equates to about 25% of the whole American soybean crop this year. And we desperately need that market, and unfortunately, we're in a standoff right now.
And this is why it's frustrating. That farmer never once said who started the trade war that tanked his industry, not once. And that's not even the worst part. Just look at this damn cryon. Trump considering $10 billion bailout for American farmers. Real damage directly tied to Trump's own decisions is happening, and the media sanitizes it. And they're giving him credit for slapping a bandage on a wound he inflicted. And reporters keep doing these interviews without asking the one question that actually matters. Who did you vote for? Because if that person voted for the guy who started the trade war, bailed out Argentina's farmers, and undercut their ability to turn a profit, don't you think it's relevant to ask if they vote for Trump again? I don't think the media is going to start asking the question anytime soon, but I think it's crucial because if you're complaining about getting burned after voting for fire, but don't directly blame it, chances are you'd vote the same way if given the chance.
So it looks like these farmers might actually get a bailout, even though they effed around and found out.
Farmers are waiting to hear the details of what could be a financial lifeline as farm bankruptcies this year are surging.
Which, if you honestly think about it, doesn't really make sense because since a lot of these farmers are being tariffed, a bailout of some type probably means that they're just going to get their money back that they handed towards the government, and probably not at the full amount either. Which I'm going to point out again, a bailout is a government handout, which is socialism, which is something they're supposed to be against, but they love to accept them because they're in so much trouble right now. But let's see what else they have to say about this.
Farmers may be forced to sell their crops at steep losses now that China, once the largest buyer of U.S. soy exports, is retaliating against U.S. tariffs.
So you've done all this work and you have more work to do and you're losing money.
Yeah, it's a great occupation, isn't it?
It could mean ruin for some farmers. As of June, 55% more filed for bankruptcy compared to the previous year-to-year period.
And I'm not like a trade expert or anything like that, but common sense would just tell me that I think a lot of these countries who already have their relationships ruined with our country and have a sour taste in their mouth are probably not going to come back anytime soon. Since China is already purchasing its soybeans from Brazil, and I believe also Argentina now too, even though President Kank Swells sent Argentina a $20 billion check to help them out. Add on top of that, our neighbors to the north, Canada, have drastically reduced their purchasing when it comes to products from the US, such as whiskey, as well as travel into the United States. Also, folks from other countries are planning to not come to the US as well because they don't want to risk it.
Well, like we talked earlier, we went from 12 billion to zero. And then, as a farmer, we get up one morning and you give Argentina, which is our second biggest competition in the world. They're the largest exporters of soybean meal in the world. So I get up one morning, I turn the news on, and you give $20 billion of taxpayer money to my competition.
I wonder how it fucking feels to scream all election cycle, America first, America first, America first, just for the man that you elected simply because he wasn't going to give any money to foreign nations, looks at you and says, you're a farmer, that's okay, I'm going to bankrupt the fuck out of you by tariffing the shit out of China, causing them to buy soybeans from your biggest competitor, Argentina, and then while you guys are filing active bankruptcy because China is not buying your soybeans, I am going to turn around and instead of bailing you guys out, I am going to send a $20 billion check to your competitor, Argentina. What was that again about not wanting money to go to foreign nations? And then Donald Trump looks you in your bankrupting eyeballs and says, anyways, no bailout for you. We're going to give money to a foreign nation. And that foreign nation happens to be your competitor. I don't even understand how angry you must be to sit there and be that lied to. And then just like, there's nothing you could do about it, which is kind of diabolical to me because you guys did go through this the first term of like his first term. And you said, let's do it again. America first, baby. give me a follow Mercedes Chandler something, face again, bye.
Another good day, guys. So, yeah. For all the soybean farmers out there, I have a good news and bad news, okay? The good news is the guy that you guys keep following loyally through his first turn and now his second turn, our supreme leader, Donald Trump, okay, has never forgotten about you guys, okay? All of a sudden, he tried to make a good deal for the soybean industry, and so he did. That's the good news, okay? The bad news is, on the other hand, the deal went south, okay? That is south, okay? That is south, okay? So what did our supreme leader do? Our supreme leader has this big chunk of change in his pocket. It's like several $1 billion, right? So normally, like a normal person like I do, like or even Joe Biden, Joe Biden is a little smarter than I am, so I bet he could do that. So if it's not a normal person like me, I would just give all this money to the soybean industry in the U.S. so that the government bought all the soybeans, and then I can give all the soybeans to the government employees, and then all the started spreading out to the whatever fix the problem back into the market, better than U.S. market. That's just normal people, okay? But our supreme leader is the guy with high intelligence. He is never too hesitate to show it off to the world, okay? He's this guy with good on V, and then so this time he's doing the V2. not that V2, okay? Doing the V, okay? So he give this billions of dollars to Argentina, okay? And Argentina took the money, turned around, and started selling soybean to China. I don't know. Maybe our supreme leader is not aware that Argentina knows about the existence of China, or does Argentina even aware that the China is the biggest U.S. soybean buyer? I don't know. Those things probably not in the equation. Oh yeah, in my wet dream, it's not happening like that. I give the money to Argentina. Argentina turn around and they come out of the U.S. and they from all the way from Argentina and started kissing my boots, and then I slapped them with the dollar bills, and they're happy. I am happy. They got the money. I got to slap them, and the whole world see the glory of that, and then I flocked to the U.S. and then started to smack me with like gold bars, and then I slapped them with the dollar bills, and everybody happy. And then at that moment I announced that please help our soybean farmers, and everybody just come to the soybean farmer industry and then investing and buying, no more tariffs and nothing. Yeah, that's in my wet dream, okay? That's how it works. And the problem is our supreme leader doesn't even know how to give a contract to Argentina while he give the money to Argentina. You need to sign this shit, so you come back to that kind of like legit business practice. Our supreme leader doesn't care about that. So here we go. So China is now definitely not coming back to buy the soybeans in U.S. Okay, I think you guys get jabbed in the rear pretty hard, okay, directly. So what we need to do. And by the way, the big fat ugly bill is about to show up. So yeah, it's about time to follow my advice. Show up in the morning, 5 o'clock, starting to do the 5-mile run. You don't have to do it in like 30 minutes like the military style. Yeah, you can stretch it thin into like 24-hour events, and then the whole thing is like not to try to kill you, not to try to get you die at the side of the street because of dehydration. All you need to do is just wake up in the morning, grab a bag of soybeans and a cup of water, and then run a couple blocks, and then sit down, eat your soybeans, and drink your water so that you could catch your breath for like another 20 minutes, and then you go up again and do it again until you finish the 5-mile. Your immune system would be dramatically improved, so you don't have to do the hospital anymore. I guess in the rural area they don't even have hospital anymore. Right? So, and the job thing, I don't know, man. You guys got like some megaton of soybean, right? That should be enough for you to eat like for what, 2 or 3 or 4 years, Just keep digging holes. Yeah, I'm sure if you pay attention to my last videos, you don't even have any Trump souvenir or, Trump memorandums left anymore. So yeah, keep digging, Maybe one day your supreme, you take so much hold and so much faith, so much faith towards our supreme leader, he may show up and then drop a couple gold bars into that hold of yours, and then you will be golden, right? So yeah, that's what I got for the moment. Yep. Oh yeah, release the Epstein file. We need that shit. Okay, see you guys next time.
Why do I have a feeling that the produces that the farmers have that have not been bought by China and more other trading partners of the US, why do I have a feeling that Trump and his friends are likely to buy this, and at a very cheap cost, in the name of his bailing them out, right? And he's going to buy this at a very cheap cost, and then after buying it, he will negotiate a better deal. I don't think it can be quite shocking, like, who thinks like I am thinking? Because anyway, we already know that the farms that are already on the market have been bought by corporations of just a small few people that are in the government still, including the Vice President of the United States of Embarrassment. To me, I don't think that would come as shocking. A lot of them farmers are now realizing that, he slapped us and is coming to, be like, oh, come on, I really loved you. I really did it out of love, because you have those toxic people that tell you I was toxic to you because I loved you. Manipulation. And if you're so easily manipulated, you'll be like, oh my God, I see, I probably provoked this or something like that. Because from the look of things, farmers will blame everybody else, but mention their man. They will literally die for him. But Kama Izabi always has a way of coming back and stinging you. These people were educated on this before it happened, the tariffs and all of that. A lot of people were coming out to tell them, no, it's not them that will be paying the tariffs. You will pay for these tariffs. We pay for them. And they were like, no, we don't pay for them. Because the person that brought the concept of tariffs himself didn't know. And he lied. I love how he loves the poorly educated people. Like, because he knows he doesn't have to do so much. Do you know, like, how easy that is? You know, Trump is so confident that he doesn't have to do so much with some of the people that vote for him, because they really have so much confidence in him. And you know, I'm trying to suppress a laugh because this is a businessman. I'm not sure if you've seen, there's a website that literally sells pharmaceuticals, medicines, your prescriptions. He has bought a website. I don't know, is it Trump something? I don't know. But this website sells your prescriptions. He's like, I'm selling these prescriptions to you at a lower cost. But he's in this to make money. And I think people need to ask themselves, how much money has he made ever since he stepped onto that seat of the presidency this time round, since last year? How much money has been added onto him? Yeah? So, here they are. They are literally giving money to other countries. They're not just giving money to Argentina alone. No. They're giving money to Israel too. But farmers can't receive a bailout. At least they can't receive more than what they needed, because the loss that is just being encountered in here is just like too big. But even if he gives them 10B, that is just really little. It's not gonna be enough. And if you give them this bailout, the question is, are you working on a better deal with the people that are supposed to be buying these? Or you're just giving them a bailout for them to continue farming, and you plan to still buy these things at a lower cost, and then behind the scenes you negotiate a better deal where you make more? It's your own man that is doing all of this to you, and I think you've seen quite a lot of them that now get it. They're like, this is BS. This is BS. How in the world? Like, yeah. But if you are a farmer and you're out there and you've been affected, what do you think? Do you really still think that he cares, or all these are just business people that are in this just to make money and, you know, step on you? And if you're a black person and you have the money, you guys are rich, eh? Buy the land, buy those farms. You will thank yourself later. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I think from me for today, that's it. I do love all of you, and I'll see you guys in another episode. Till then, my name is Gracie. Love you guys. Bye.